Another victory against California's illegal handgun roster. Let's go ahead and talk about it. What's up, Wolverines? Welcome back to the channel. This is John Crump News, where we talk about everything 2A related. I'm your host, John Crump, and I'm an investigative journalist that keeps an eye on the 2A space. I'm going to do this video in one shot because I got a lot to do and I want to spend some time with my family, but this is really important to get it out there to you. So if I mess up, I mess up. In the recent case, Borland versus Bonta, a court knocked down the California handgun roster. In California, you have a handgun roster, which is a roster of safe guns, but a lot of the stuff on there is science fiction and a new gun hasn't been added in over a decade because of the science fiction aspect of the handgun roster. Borland versus Bonta wasn't the first case to challenge it. The first case to challenge it was Rena versus Bonta, and that case was just decided in a district court. And the Firearms Policy Coalition and the Second Amendment Foundation won a partial preliminary injunction against the roster. But before you get too excited, let's talk about it a little bit. The case challenged a few different aspects of the roster. One is the 3-for-1, which means for every handgun that goes on the roster, 3 have to be removed. And it challenges the fees that manufacturers have to pay to stay on the roster. It challenges the load indicator, the magazine disconnect, and the microstamping, which is totally science fiction and it doesn't exist. But yet California put that on there, saying that by putting it on there, it would move the technology forward and create microstamping. That's kind of like saying you're gonna forbid all forms of energy to try to get cold fusion. It just doesn't work that way. So this case won a partial injunction. The fees get to stay, but what does gets enjoined is the microstamping, the magazine disconnect, and also the load indicator. None of the guns on the roster currently have that. They're all grandfathered in. The magazine disconnect exists, the load indicator exists in some guns, and microstamping does not exist. There's no gun on the market that has microstamping. The technology just does not work. They say that the load indicator and the magazine disconnect will prevent accidental shootings, which maybe, but that's not what Borland says. And the microstamping is supposedly to allow police to track guns better, but that doesn't exist. The court said because the state could not point to anything in the original text, history, or tradition of the Second Amendment that these laws are unconstitutional, and therefore the judge issued a partial injunction. But it's not all sunshine and roses, because she also decided that she was going to stay the injunction until the state decides whether they are going to appeal or not. And I can guarantee you that they are going to appeal. In Borland versus Bonta, the judge gave the state 14 days to go to the circuit court to ask for a stay on that injunction, and they are going to do that. They're already doing it right now. So what does this mean? This means that the California handgun roster is still in effect, but it's dying breath. The Bruin decision has changed everything across the nation, and stuff like the California handgun roster will die a slow death. It's just going to take a little bit of time. What a lot of people don't realize is court cases take time. And this court case is going to take time. It will go to the circuit court, where I'm sure they're going to issue an emergency stay in Borland, and this case is going to have a stay no matter what. And then they will have to decide. The Ninth Circuit is really, really anti-gun, so whatever 3-judge panel they pick is probably not going to turn out too well for us. And then the Ninth Circuit, if they are bound by Bruin, which they are, they should decide in the good guys' fate, which is us, the gun owner. But who knows what they're going to do. There's a lot of activist judges on the Ninth, so this could be bound for the Supreme Court. But there's other challenges around the country challenging the same exact thing. So we'll have to see where those go. But no matter what, gun control is dying a slow death, and it will be gone soon. So hopefully we will get a victory out in California, and this will lead to a victory nationwide. All right, guys, that's it for me today. I got to get out of here. So have a good weekend, and stay ever vigilant, stay ever free. Keep in the fight. I am out of here. Wolverine's mother.